Hey everyone, today we have a box of Bolton Flayed Men from the Cool Mini or Not tabletop game, A Song of Ice and Fire, which is the Game of Thrones tabletop series. Everyone knows it as a Game of Thrones, although the first novel in the series is called A Game of Thrones, but the entire TV series from HBO is titled Game of Thrones. So the Bolton Flayed Men are of course from House Bolton, which was very much an antagonistic house in terms of the storyline. You know, if you watch the series and everything, as you know, the Boltons were pretty bad boys overall, but ruthless, but also very cunning in their tactics. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and crack this bad boy open. Let's take a look and see what we've got in here. I have to say, I've really liking this trend that I'm seeing in tabletop games right now with the way they're presenting everything. You know, we got great quality box art, you know, great illustrations and everything. And then, you know, this approach of having everything in a kind of an egg crate setup here. We have our movement base here for the 4 horsemen here. And then we have our card with all the stats for your Bolton Flayed Men. And then, of course, underneath here, let's just go ahead and pull this whole thing out, kind of set this aside here. The way how Cool Mini or Not is packaging everything is, you know, mostly pretty good. The only thing is that these miniatures are kind of packed in tight here, and sometimes some of their smaller parts are kind of around the edges of, around the plastic egg crate here, and sometimes that can lead to parts being snapped off. So I'm going to warn you right now, if you decide to pick some of these up, be sure to check them as soon as possible, because I've had several pieces broken or come warped or whatever. I definitely could say that Cool Mini or Not could use to have a better quality assurance department to take a look at all their miniatures, because I've had to send a couple of sets back to them. Sometimes Amazon will send you a new box and give you a certain amount of time to return your old one, and so what I'll do is I will get the new box, go through and get the pick of the litter of both boxes, and then send back the box with all the crappy ones to them. And I mean, I just figure I'm saving Cool Mini or Not a few steps there. But anyways, yeah, let's start taking a look at these. We have the Bannerman right here. These miniatures are beautifully sculpted. Every single one of them just has all this great detail. They're a lot of fun to paint. I've worked on several of the Bolton Blackguard, Lannister infantry, Stark infantry, Baratheons. I absolutely love the Baratheon infantrymen. I would have liked to have seen in the series, I would really like to have seen House Baratheon whenever it was Robert Baratheon was in command, because just from the armor and the warhammers and everything, they just look so incredibly powerful, and they're very imposing looking. But House Bolton's minis are pretty scary as well. They very much make me think of Chaos from Age of Sigmar. Pretty menacing looking. The horses are armed to the teeth as well, and you know, very different from what we saw in the TV series. I think these are probably more based on the books, or maybe just more of CMON's own interpretation of House Bolton. But again, I mean, these miniatures, the detail is just excellent overall. I tend to use Vallejo paints more than anything else. I mean, I'll use Citadel paints, but one of the things I've noticed is that Citadel paints or Games Workshop's paints, they tend to dry up very quickly, or at least they don't seem to last very long. I have several bottles of Vallejo paints that I've had for several years, and they're still, like, I mean, all they require is a good shake and then they're ready to go. And the colors are very opaque and they look great once they're painted. If you just play with these guys directly out of the box for the tabletop game, I mean, that's great. But you know, if you're looking to, you know, paint your Bolton Flayed Men and make them, you know, just kind of give them a little more distinction, try to make them match either the box art or more of what you saw in the TV series, I definitely recommend getting some Vallejo paints. They're pretty good. They're pretty cheap, or at least they a little better price than Games Workshop paints. Overall, I'm just really impressed with the way these are looking and the quality of the miniatures. Some people say that miniatures nowadays are getting a little over sculpted, a little too much detail. That doesn't really matter when you're playing on a tabletop. But for somebody like me, who's more of a collector, more of an enthusiast, who just likes to paint miniatures and sometimes play, I think they're great. And the only exception is that, again, whenever you buy some of these, or if you decide to buy some of these, make sure that you're checking your box as soon as you get it to make sure there's no inconsistencies, no parts missing, no parts broken off. Some of them you can glue, but for some of these, like, you know, like this guy with his flail here is, you know, it's a really thin chain on there, and that can snap off pretty easily. Probably recommend not carrying around these little boxes all the time. I'd recommend getting like maybe a pistol case, you know, with good foam and everything, and or like the kinds you can pick the foam out and just place them in their own individual little squares. You'll probably have better luck preserving the all the parts and everything and making sure everything stays together. But in the end, CMON's doing a great job on these, and everything I've seen from them so far has been amazing. And in a market right now that's dominated by Games Workshop with Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40K, it's great to see these other companies kind of rising to the top and starting to really, not necessarily compete with Games Workshop, but basically giving people other alternatives and opening a larger market to tabletop gaming in general. Because I kind of feel like for a while that tabletop gaming was kind of starting to go away, and then just within the last 20 years, it's just exploded and come back. People are realizing it's like, hey, computer games aren't everything. It's still fun to, sit down with a group of friends, grab the dice, grab your miniatures, and start playing. So yeah, guys, definitely, if you get a chance and you want to pick some of these up, feel free to. Great quality. I think, the game looks fun. And I think you'll enjoy painting these as well, because as I said, the sculpts look great, and just great quality overall. All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, great quality here. I love the box art. I love the way these are packaged, and these all, you can get sets of infantry, sets of cavalry units. The infantry usually about 12 to 13 miniatures. The cavalry is usually about 4 miniatures, and there's a lot of unit variety. The Boltons are kind of known as an independent house, or like a supplemental house that fights alongside the Lannisters within the game. And yeah, check out Cool Mini or Not's site for Song of Ice and Fire. There's they have the Targaryens, they have Baratheons, they have the Starks, Lannisters, the Bolton Flayed Men. They have they have the Free Folk. There's lots of variety, and they keep expanding it as time goes on. And I've only started collecting these probably about 3 years or so ago, and it's already expanded a lot since then. And I think anybody who's into tabletop is definitely going to enjoy this game. But again, just a little warning about the miniatures. Be sure and check the quality as soon as you purchase them. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I didn't get to rambling too much. If you liked the video, be sure to hit like and subscribe to be notified of future content. Maybe leave me a comment below, let me know what you thought, or if there's anything you want to see me unbox in the future. Otherwise, have a great day, and keep on gaming, guys.